Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the new Dex Check live stream, also streaming to the FOMO Factory YouTube channel. So wherever you are watching from, welcome. I want to go a bit over the market. I want to make it a quick one this time. And the next live stream will be very topic-wise, also on how to use Dex Check. But for now, I think it's really important also to look at the market, what is going on right here, where Bitcoin might go, where it stalls out. Shall we take maybe a little bit of profits off the table? Because I know everybody is, not euphoric at the moment, but pretty happy, right? I don't feel the same euphoria as I felt back in 2021, or not even as in, or not even by far not as in 2017. That was like really overtaking every kind of feeling that I had in my body back then. But people aren't happy. Yeah. That's not what we're gonna do right here. We're not gonna make people happy, right? It's crypto. We need to get wrecked, of course. So I think that the way that's gonna happen is by showing that there are a lot of gains to be made, and people think it will probably go up forever, which it won't. But don't let the correction shake you out. Overall, my sentiment is still really bullish. If I look at the market, Bitcoin shorter time frame, yeah, sure, it's going down a little bit. Well, whoop-de-doo, we went from $123,000, we dipped to $118,000. Yeah, it's not something to be bearish about, really, right? Altcoins are actually gaining steam, so we're gonna look at Dex Check as well. There's a very interesting way to, if you want to trade, and let's do that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just thinking out loud right here. I'm gonna open up a challenge for myself, and maybe you want to join with me. I'm gonna open a wallet with, I don't know, $100 or something like that, and I'm gonna use the Dex Check platform in a way that I think it's the best way to use it. And then we can take a look like, hey, how can we turn that $100 into something maybe way more? And there's one way which is really great, in my opinion, to do. And that's not thinking for yourself. That's just simply doing what other people are doing. Because in crypto, everybody gets rich, except for you, right? So let's just do what other people are doing. And that's what this platform is kind of made for. So welcome to the like stream, like the stream, like the video, subscribe, turn the bell notification on. If you're watching on Dex Check, like the tweet, and let's get over it. Drop some questions. We'll go over that as well at the moment. So when we look at Dex Check, what's going on right now, you can see that a lot of coins are at the moment really popping, right? Pangu is having a mind share of 3.5%. That means basically that there is a lot of interaction for the Pangu token compared to the amount of tokens that there are and the amount of holders that it has. And that's, of course, fantastic, because you then know that, hey, the interaction is actually real and this token has a lot going. And I don't know, we spoke about Pangu in the last live stream as well, and it has been absolutely still since then ripping pretty hard, right? It's one of the stronger coins out there right now. And yeah, if you overlay the amount of tweets that people put out for Pangu, you cannot even see the chart anymore. So it's kind of crazy, actually. But if you look at it like this, then you can see like, wow, in the last couple of days alone, it has been absolutely killing it, right? This kind of shows, though, that you don't necessarily only have to be in real low cap coins to make a lot of money. Pangu is one of the, it's still quite new, but it's it's a higher cap meme coin, right? And we are still in the environment, in my opinion, where people still kind of flight to safety, right? So yeah, let's take a look at that. So first, again, Bitcoin 118K, beautiful to see. Ethereum $3,800, also acting like a complete shitcoin, actually, right here, where it just ripped in with basically a 3x from the recent local lows in April. It's April, May, June, July, in 3 months, 3x. Hey, give me do that every 3 months. I'm very happy with that. But I don't think that goes on forever, right? And therefore we have to talk about taking profits, because it's the psychology of this is so important, right? When we were here, ETH was dead. According to everybody, ETH was dead. It was not coming back. There are better chains right now. This, that, whatever the argument was, it was terrible. People did not want to buy. Now we are here, almost at all-time highs, and people say ETH is going to 10K, 12K, 15K. Like, if you try to turn that around, try to have that positive mindset about an asset when the price is low, and have that more cautious mindset about an asset when the price is higher, then you will, very likely do well. Right? It's super, super, super important to, if you have emotions in crypto, counter trade them, right? Just purely counter trade them, and you will be fine, right? You don't need no charge. That's your mental Dex check, actually. So maybe we should, I don't know, do something with it. Mental check. I don't know. Anyway, the altcoin market also going up very well. And if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, yeah, that's still tanking. The Bitcoin dominance is now in its fifth week in a row of being red, and we haven't seen that for a long, long, long time. Bitcoin dominance without stable coins last week went down 6%, and it did not had that big of a drop in 1 week since August 2021. And we all know 2021 was kind of like a good period for altcoins, right? So it starts to feel like an alt season again. I don't want to, scream that like too soon, but again, like by the time most people realize we are actually in an alt season, we are more towards the end of it than at the beginning, and therefore it is just good to place your bets where the money is, right? So when it comes to Dex Check itself, super, super, super interesting news, because if you look at the platform, right, it has so much going. There are so many tools that we discussed the last time, and coming live stream this Wednesday, actually, I want to go over all the tools one by one in depth, how you can actually use them and why it is helpful, right? But what is already really good to see, and that's also for the Dex Check holders, or if you are thinking about maybe going to get some Dex Check tokens, like, they are going to provide all their information in an API, right? And the API, it's an endpoint for other, projects or builders to use to get the information and make it their own, basically. And that API is, of course, going to be sold, right? For a very decent price. Actually, I have been working on my own stuff as well, and I know the average price of a good API, and that can be a lot more expensive than this, actually. Now, the cool thing is that also the money that they raise with these APIs, they're gonna buy back the Dex Check token, so that's an extra utility added for the token, which I fully support. Plus, there might be something coming in the form of somewhat of something with NFTs and a big partnership, but let's not talk too much about that, actually. But do know that, there's something brewing right there, and you might feel like, huh? But aren't NFTs dead? We just looked at Pangu. Okay, this started as an NFT, and this is now outperforming your whatever you have. It's outperforming it, right? So your house, your I don't know. So now, in my opinion, NFTs are not that. It's very easy to say that this time is different, of course, but I think that the utility NFTs and the real community, the real blue chip NFTs, they will do fine. They will do fine. They are doing fine, and they will do finer, probably. Right? Is it now a good moment, though, to ape into Pangu? Look, it's maybe a little scary to buy at top of the green candle. And I would like, yeah, it could go higher, definitely. But if I would like think about it for myself, I'll be like, you know what? Let's try to find the next Pangu before that happens. And that's exactly where the platform comes into very handy as well. What I would like to do for myself, and you can do this with me, right, if you want, or you can just look how I'm doing it to see if I'm getting wrecked or not, and then decide to do it. It's totally fine. I will be your lab bunny in this case. But what I will do is, again, start a wallet, and I will do it all publicly, so you can see it actually, because I can say it, but hey, what good is that, right? Somebody said, bro got a hair transplant. Lol. You don't say. Yes, I took profits and I've put them in my head. Like, I think it's better than round trip it and still being bald. Like, then I can round trip it. Like, so yeah, but that's true indeed. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use one of the many features, just one by one, to see if it really works out for me. Because we can see all kind of cool stuff on screen, but if you put it to practice, how does that work? One of the things that I think is really interesting is the top crypto traders, because these are people, right? So if you go to tools and you have the premium, like Dex Check is pretty cheap. Like, you have to have worth of, I think it's even less than $200 worth of the tokens just once at this current price, right? And you get access to everything, right? Now, with the coming utilities, etc., for Dex Check, I also think that, let me put it like this. I don't think it's the time in the market where the micro caps are really popular yet. But if I would have to pick micro caps already, then for me, DexCheck will be on the list. And I'm not saying that because I should be biased, but honestly, because I think that for that price, this utility that you get is just a good deal, right? But if you go to the premium tools and you look at the top crypto traders, what you can see right here are people who are trading and they are making the most profit, right? So you can see, for example, that there is an address and he is a menu whale, right? A menu is a token and he is a whale in that token. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. This person traded over the last 30 days, that's what it's filtered on, right? He has traded 11 tokens. He has lost 6, right? And he won 5. So is that bad? No. Like, if you find me someone who only wins, let me know, right? That's not possible. But still, his profit is insane. His profit is really insane. Unrealized, pretty high. Should learn to take some profits, but that's his problem, right? Um, but I do think that if there is a decent amount of trades and the profit is really high, then that's really interesting. Now, of course, you can look at the money, but if this person started with 200K and he made in total 220K, for example, yeah, then ratio wise, not great. So you might want to look at the realized ROI, right? That's saying maybe way more. So if you look who has a high ROI with still a decent amount of tokens traded, right? Well, this person right here, 500% ROI with 5 trades, right? That's pretty decent. So what you can do, if you have your account here, right, you can link your Telegram to it. You can, for example, say like, hey, you know what? I just want to track this person. I want to see what he does, right? And it opens Telegram for you. And now it says to me, hey, you are following this person right now, right? Would you would like to give him a name? In this case, no, I think he already has a name, right? So now I'm following this person. And now whenever, or I'm following this wallet, right? Not the person. I don't think that's legal. But now I'm following the wallet. And now every time he trades, I get a notification. I was also following a Fartcoin whale, right? And I got a notification that he swapped a decent amount of coins for any coin, any whatever, right? So I then can look at any and I'll be like, hey, at least a whale of Fartcoin is going heavy into this token, right? The conclusion that you make from that could be up to you, right? It's not a guarantee that this token will go up. But hey, if he is a whale in a successful project, then this person might know something that I don't know. Maybe, right? It's a pretty cool way to do your research on it. So I'm just gonna follow and copy trade some successful traders with a little money, right? With a little money. And why do I say a little money? Because it's probably not the best way of trading, but it could be profitable, right? So therefore, you might want to say like, you know what? I'm going to use 5% of my whatever it is that you have, right? And I'm going to do it. I'm just going to try it, see how it goes, right? And once you get the hang of it, you can try to increase that a little bit, maybe not, we'll see. Um, but also you can click on this wallet and then you can actually see what he is doing, right? So in this case, let me see, I got the time frame selected right here now on the 90 days, and I can see right here, hey, over the last 90 days, this is what his PNL is. I'm on the Binance Smart Chain. I can also see it for Ethereum, and that's where he mostly has been trading, right? So if we go back to the 30, by the way, you can see, hey, he's been trading that menu token, right? And he bought quite a lot, right? He did very well, 3K, right? And he sold almost all these tokens, but not everything. But he sold it for 77K, right? So he made an insane profit right there. Now, you do see like he already sold, right? So what I like about this person though is that he didn't take the profits like too soon. He was like really convinced in this token apparently to hold it long enough. So it's not that my conclusion is like, hey, I should now buy this token, but the conclusion that I make is this specific person with this wallet, he kind of knows what he's doing, and so maybe I want to keep a close eye on that single wallet. Interesting stuff. Um, Yeah, indeed. A little more on topic. Somebody asks, "Is a correction coming?" Look, I don't know if and when and how and etc. etc. But at a certain point, I do think that there will be a good correction. The market is gaining a lot. Everybody is really euphoric at the moment. Ethereum, for example, is ripping right now. However, if you look, for example, at the RSI, right, you can see that the RSI on the daily is getting very overheated, right? Yeah. RSI is a momentum indicator, right? So the momentum is just really high and gaining a lot of steam right now. And at a certain point, momentum has to cool off. And the question is, will the price cool off with it? Often that's the case. But there's also examples where it is not really the case, right? Here we had like also stochastic, or not stochastic, but the RSI overheated, just like now. But still, the price, it kind of went up and sideways after that, and not a real big bam correction like that. But there are also moments where you could say like, hey, it did got a little overheated. Like for example, here, right, we got the same overheated RSI, and the price of ETH went from 280 back then to 80. From 280 to 80. So yeah, that could go both ways. Mm, And what I think is just really important is that you always ask yourself a futuristic question, right? What if it all goes up? Am I happy? Well, for the most people, the answer is yes, unless you are following capo, right? But hey, you should not do that. Sorry, I'm not speaking like, okay, sorry, let me, I'll be, okay. But you should also ask yourself, what if it now goes down? Am I then happy? And if the answer is now no, then it probably means that you are in the market too much, that you don't have enough cash to buy a dip, that you did not take some profits. So then ask yourself another hypothetical question. What if I now take 10% profits? Like, it's not that much, right? If it then goes up from here still, would that be hurting you? Like if you write your bags up with like the other 90%? Yeah, I don't think that that's bad, right? But if you did that, right, taking 10% profit or so, right, and you ask yourself like, okay, what if the market now goes down? Would that be bad? Yeah. Look, still, you probably feel like, oh, I wish I took more profits, but at least a dip or a correction is not making you feel completely bad, right? So, in my experience, but that's my experience. You might do it completely different. taking some profits at moments like this is definitely not bad, right? In the last market, when ETH just, was close to its all-time high, and you took some profits over here, then it went higher, right? Okay, take some more profits. It went a little higher, take some more profits, right? It's about DCAing in and DCAing out in the first place. I still think we have a long way to go for the crypto market, and that the momentum is just now going from Bitcoin to Ethereum. Like I said, Bitcoin dominance tanking really hard right now, and it's more than just a correction, right? Just like this, and it's really showing like, hey, we have so many red weeks in a row right now. We have the biggest drop since then, and then Ethereum dominance is gaining real momentum for the first time since 2019, basically, right? This is where it bottomed out in the last cycle, beginning 2020, right? Things look to be really shifting right now, not just a quick turnaround, but it doesn't mean that it will always be up only. And I honestly, I think that you should not get too euphoric. Everybody says now, like, ETH goes to 10K. Okay, does that mean you should not take anything out at 9,999? Like, that's not what we mean by that, right? So try to be smart. You don't want a round trip as well. Somebody asked Dex Check or Decubate. Look, I'm not gonna answer that really. I honestly think, because these are two completely different platforms, and if you want to buy some real low cap coins, yeah, then at least look for the ones that you mentioned that both have great utility in their own way. But we don't have to make a choice when it comes to that. But yeah, again, in all honesty, I do think that a correction might be coming. But yeah, look, it can take a long time. It can take a real long time, actually. So secure some profits. Now, the news is just like completely nuts. Actually, if you look at the Dex Check news page, you can find all the news from all different platforms: Cointelegraph, Daily Hollow, etc., Bitcoin.com, etc. You can see that basically every piece of news is bullish, right? Like 3 billion in Ether has lost forever. Coinbase warns. Like, I don't think crypto being lost, yeah, that's bad for the one who lost it. But overall, I don't think that's bad, right? That's deflation, to call it like that. So I kind of I kind of like that. Like, strategy added 750 million of Bitcoin as price surge past 122K. Chinese blockchain conflux to launch offshore one-backed stablecoin. Like, stable coins, investments, institutions, it is all over the place. It is absolutely crazy. So I definitely think that that there is a lot of reason actually to celebrate, but always be a little cautious. Right now, again, let me know on X or on YouTube, wherever you are watching, what kind of trader are you? Are you trading, right? Or are you more like investing, maybe take some profits, but overall just long-term investing? My personal approach on the FOMO factory is more investing. On Dex Check, it is really good for, well, both actually. I wanted to say really good for trading, as it's really showing a lot of low cap stuff as well. But it could also definitely be that you find a certain low cap gem right here that is just for the long term, and for the long term. If you look at the hype tracker, right, the hype score, and you can see, if you put your mouse over it, is determined by collecting a 7-day percentage change for volume, trade count, price, and hold account, right? And that's then all normalized and weighted against each other, coming up with a certain score, right? But that's based on quite a lot. And if you look at the hype tracker for certain coins on Ethereum, for example, yeah, and then you kind of compare it maybe with market cap, you can see that there are certain coins that just absolutely are low cap still, but with a lot of hype. And if you find a good combination between those, that's beautiful. And soon it will also open up for the Binance Smart Chain, Solana, and Tron as well. And I think that Ethereum and Solana are going to be the most popular ones, actually. But that's a good way to find certain real hyped coins. You probably heard of NPC, maybe not, by the way, I don't know. But NPC is also a coin that has real momentum lately. And if you look, you can also see a lot of price history, right? So you can also see like, hey, you know, yeah, it came from far. It did a what is this? Almost a 4x. Yeah, 4x basically, pretty much. Yeah, more. It's now sitting maybe at resistance by simply looking at the chart like this. So you might want to put this on your radar, right? You might want to put this on the radar, and you can favorite it here, for example. Right? It doesn't mean you have to buy it right away, right? Sometimes you see something, and the best way to deal with that is all saying like, okay, cool. Now I got it on my watch list. You don't right away have to buy it, right? But let's do some, like the ideas are popping up, but we can do some low cap collecting right here and just see how it plays out, right? Let me know your favorite low caps so that we can analyze. Am I buying Dex Check token? I honestly, I think that Dex Check token is one of like, look, we now, and that's the face of the market again, right? We see Ethereum going up and low caps not, right? So why would we buy low caps? And if we can make more gains with a safer Ethereum, yeah, that's a stage of the market that we are now in. But you want to front run that. What comes after the Ethereum, right? After the high caps, the low caps. The market is quite confirmative, in my opinion. So now being in certain low caps, right, with managed risk, at least, right? Yeah, it makes some sense for me actually. Really, it does. Um, let me see. Is there someone with a which coins have 100x potential? Name coin, please. Look, that's really hard to do. Like I don't have the crystal ball for that. The potential. Look, a lot of coins have that potential, right? But the coins that have that potential also have the potential to go down. But again, let's use the tools on the website to go over that soon, right? Um, the wallet analyzer is very interesting, by the way. That's just a free tool. So if you don't have an account or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can just fill in a wallet address right there and see how that wallet is doing. So if you ever feel like, oh, I got a wallet from this person, analyze it, see what he is buying, look what the transactions are, look how long he holds tokens on average. And let me see if I can find a wallet. Let me expose somebody right here, right? I got something maybe for you guys. Wallet tracker. I got someone. This is Crypto God John. And 30-day some base. He doesn't do much on base. Let me go to the max right here. It's just Ethereum, right? You, for example, can see like, hey, this person has 400K realized profit from OXO, right? With a 170 transactions. It's kind of crazy. Right? His balance is still $1.6 million worth of these tokens. So it's kind of fair to say that this person who is making more money than most of us, unfortunately, is pretty bullish on this coin right here. What does that tell you? Right, so yeah, I don't know. They say do your own research, right? So it doesn't mean, hey, yes, this, so let me buy it. But this is a part of that research, actually. And that's the best way, in my opinion, to look at it. Now, you can find out the balance of certain coins right here for this person. You can see his trading history. You can also see what he is purely buying and purely what this person is selling as well, and the CEX flow, so what has been sent to an exchange. So I think that if we use this well, we can really do it. Now, this is the second live stream where I gave kind of an introduction to this. Next time, we're really going to put this to practice. Okay. Overall, moral of the story is, will there be a correction soon? For certain coins, there are. Look, it depends a little bit on what coin you're in and how the money is going to flow, right? As we see, again, the Bitcoin dominance is going down. Yeah, Bitcoin is going down a little bit as well. So, yeah, do we have a correction? Yeah, but is that bad? Yeah, not for the people that are not in Bitcoin, right? Ethereum is doing fantastic. Again, the ETH dominance is going up really hard. If you look, however, at the Bitcoin, ETH, and stable dominance, this is going down, right? So there's everything, the dominance, except alts. So even with the run that Ethereum has right now, the money is already slowly flowing into altcoins. We just got started. If you look at it on a regular, like you can just put it in perspective like this. Like, hey, this is the alt season meter, basically. Right? We are here right now. So yeah. I think zooming out in that case is really important. If we look at the total altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, what I found out is this. Altcoins on the Bitcoin pair. This is the alt season chart, basically, right? This alt season, this alt season. What we've seen so far, bear market, ranges, sweep the lows, bull market, alt season, right? Bear market, ranges, sweep the lows, bull market. Bear market, ranges, sweep the lows. Hey, what you know? We are now above this whole ranging again, right? Yeah, we know what happened the last couple times. Again, that's not a guarantee, but it's interesting. Also, since, the last two times, the only two times, it was basically up only. That's on a monthly, right? Doesn't mean we cannot have correction tomorrow, for example. The altcoin market itself, close to making new all-time highs. Not there yet, though, right? But it's close to it. So could it happen that we maybe see a little correction soon, and that we then, like maybe going back with like 15% or something like that and move on? It could be. It doesn't really feel like the market to me where we are going to see a big capitulation. But yeah, like if you want to do that based on your feelings, then it's never going to end up well, actually. Correction inevitable. Somebody says altcoins down 10% next week. Yeah, maybe. Like again, I also said like 10% possible next week, tomorrow. I don't know. But it could be the case. Eventually, a correction is always inevitable, right? Nothing only goes up. So again, my strategy is taking profits at the point where we are right now. Maybe just 10% of my portfolio, nothing too much, nothing that I feel like, I miss out big time if the market goes up any further, but enough that makes me feel comfortable whenever the market is going down a little bit again as well. And that's a certain yin yang that you have to find for yourself. But that's my biggest piece of advice, actually. So everybody, I would say, thanks for watching. And also somebody, by the way, says, why is Dex Check not pumping? Look, again, it's the market for the high caps right now. It's not really yet a market for the low caps. Why would you buy a low cap coin with more risk if you can get more reward at the moment with a higher cap coin? That's how people think, and that's very understandable. But at a certain point, that money will shift, and you don't want to run after that shifting all the time, right? You want to kind of be there before that happens. So if you still believe in that money flow, I would say look at something else than Ethereum at this point, right? Look lower than that. And that's still risky, but it's also where the most reward is sitting at the moment. So I want to wrap it up right here, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care. Like the video if you like the video, and I'll see you in the next one, which is Wednesday. So very soon. Bye-bye.